Let's see how the adaptation is going to come through here, because I thought the play we saw from Fearx was pretty good overall, trying to punish the Twisted Fate, but the team fights left a lot to be desired.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you're playing against a really strong team, and I do agree. I think their showing was very nice, and now that they move over to the blue side, rather, T1 are going to do the job of banning Senna, which is nice. We don't have to see Senna. It's gone, and they're going to ban Nautilus as well. Varus Nautilus, very powerful, very popular. Kind of difficult to get on the blue side, though.
Yeah. Ashe gone, the Aatrox banned away from Zeus again, and also the Lucian ban coming through. Even though it hasn't been very successful, it's still very popular in scrims, is what word on the street is the Rakan will also be banned away here. So first pick now to Fearx, a lot open. Could go for the Varus, and that's what they're going to do. You know, even with Smolder open here for T1, the Varus could be quite strong into that, even Nautilus-less. And also, you know, there's a few other picks we could see, like the Zeri, for example, but T1 have kind of shied away from that pick in the past. Gumayusi not a player who particularly has prioritized it, even when it was very meta. So let's see what the answer is going to be. Oh, some Faker Orianna.
Yeah, currently 9-0. And has a 61% win rate, 61.8 over the course of everybody playing it this season. So very powerful. And the Kalista is going to be pulled in here, and now you have no idea what this bottom lane is going to look like for the side of T1, because that could be support, that could be for Guma, and some random weird thing for Keria. We just don't know.
Yeah, it could be Nico, unless it's taken away, and Nico actually is disabled on this match as well anyways. So that's not going to happen. When I saw the Nocturne, I got excited. I was like, oh, they could have denied, but it's actually disabled. New week, but same patch. And Azir to be the lock into Orianna. Not feeling too great about that one here for Fearx, considering Faker has had the best laning stats in the LCK this season. Willer's Nocturne is pretty good, though. And
yeah,
you know, there's a lot of things you could do with Varus, Azir, and Nocturne here, and we'll see what else they want to round this draft off with in terms of engage. As I don't know if we're going to get an answer about the Keria pick just yet, because there's so much he can play. You don't necessarily have to lock it now.
Unless it's something really powerful that they want right now, like a Renata Glask, and that's what you want your bottom lane to be. But Cassante being available, you know, again, I said before during Game 1 that I was surprised that Cassante got overlooked, especially with a lot of the bans in the top lane, but they're going to take it here instead.
Yeah, Twisted Fate taken away, as they did lock that top lane, and even though it had a bit of a rough time in back-to-back laning phases, you know, here at the beginning of the week, it still found success. And Udyr also taken away. Renata, as you mentioned, the strongest pick that could be played with the Kalista in lane in terms of very strong meta picks. But now what do you ban? Because you just have no idea what Keria is going to do, and this is the power of this and execute. Feeling the frustration. He doesn't know what he's laning into. He has no idea what Keria is going to pick, and you already have the jungle, sorry, there's so many jungle picks available here. You've already locked in yours. I was going to say Vi or maybe even the Lee Sin could be a strong option. They take the Vi, and then over goes to Lee Sin.
Yeah, I think that's not too surprising. I think the Renata Glask was pretty much mandatory, I think a lot of people would say. And then the Vi, you know, does rank higher, I would say, on the tier list right now. But Jarvan being looked at here. Now, Jarvan Orianna is a fantastic combo in team fights. You just jump in, it can't be stopped, and the ball will be on top of Jarvan, so could be there. Also could be in the bot lane. Don't want to exclude that possibility. I kind of doubt it will be, but
we've seen it in the past.
Could happen.
The airy Jarvan brings me back. Where's life?
Yeah, just build an arm guard. It's only 1,600 now.
Okay, this is interesting. A potential Maokai pick, excuse me, into... Malphite. Not this time around.
That would be scary.
Likely to be the pick here for Execute, as let's see what Clear is going to end up playing into this Cassante. Lots of bans in the top lane. Aatrox gone, the Udyr, Twisted Fate is also gone. Might just be a Gnar angle here. Gnar, Azir, we've seen it so much. Zach!
There it is, once again, into the Cassante. This has been done before in the LCK. It was also done yesterday in Challenger League. Saw a couple of games of Zach. So slowly becoming more and more popular up in the top lane, especially.
Can work really well with Nocturne, too. Really long engage range onto the carries, as it is Kalista who will have someone she can Fate's Call As this gives me, you know, more questions than answers. We know it's going into the bottom lane. We know it's going to be played by Keria because you can't play Jungle Hui, so that's not going to be a thing. But well, will it actually end up being successful into the Varus is the question. I mean, we've seen support Hui quite a bit this season. Barrel started us off with that. You have really strong push in this lane. You're going to outrange the Maokai. It's going to be very difficult for him to engage onto you. And you have a decent amount of CC as well. You could speed Kalista up. So, I mean, I do think this is a strong pick. It's very experimental, but also immobile. And I worry that if Fearx get ahead with Nocturne Zac, and you're trying to play this, you're not going to have as much utility or safety or peel. Jarvan also very binary. So, while I think this comp absolutely can work, and T1 is cooking their happy game in a little bit, I'm a little bit concerned about how rickety it can be. It's very fragile, and if it falls behind, I'm not sure if T1 can pull this one off. If there's any team that can, it's T1, though.
I think it's a bit of T1 saying, hey, we are the better team. We're going to win lane. We're going to utilize that to just avoid any of those issues you were talking about. And they've done that many times in the past, but also there have been times where they have taken risks and team have actually beaten them in the laning phase and have done it. So these are two of my favorite champs right now, actually, Zac and Nocturne. And generally in the jungle, but imagine if you put them together on one team with a Maokai.
Too much power.
How do you get away from that? I'm curious to find out as we are ready to hop onto the Rift for game number 2.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
So what Zac said there was, what he said was Fearx fighting, actually.
I didn't know you were fluent in Zac.
Yeah, I know what he's, you know, I've been chatting with him. I've been on Duolingo, trying to pick it up. You know, the funny thing about these comps is I feel like if you took the nameplates off and you told me T1 drafted what Fearx put together, I would 100% believe it. You know, it's one of Oner's best picks, the Nocturne, right? We know Zeus loves the Zac, and Keria playing Maokai would not be a shock to anyone. And if you thought about Faker Azir, it's his most iconic champion, arguably. So next to Orianna, which he is in fact piloting as we speak.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's really fun to see Fearx pilot this one into T1, and both of these teams bring in a different idea to the table.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like what Fearx have brought in here. I think that the Zac in the top lane is great. A lot of champs, I said it before, they have good matchups into the Cassante. But again, it feels like Cassante brings more in general in the game state, in the team fights later on. But the Zac, you know, imagine if you can get even more tanky, but with more farm in the top side, and you're having a good lane state. You're essentially feeling pretty free against the Cassante, as Guma is going to take a very nice trade here already. It's going to feel good, though, for the Zac. He's going to get accelerated very quickly. He's going to get a Spirit Visage early, as this is Keria's 53rd unique pick in the LCK, which is just insane for a support.
It is wild that, you know, we haven't popped that up really this season. He hasn't played it yet because it's been pretty prevalent. It was in the first week of the LCK, especially. Heal committed.
Uh-oh. The Maw comes through, and they're going to thank themselves for using that heal and just trying to avoid as much damage as possible because they were sprinting at them there.
Tempo heal trade.
Yeah.
And, you know, you mentioned it earlier right before we jumped into the game, but when you consider that Maokai can root somebody with his ultimate and then Willer and Clear can follow up on them so easily, the comp just plays itself, right? And I feel like this comp originally may have picked the Nocturne to deny Orianna Nocturne. You know, the ball carry is so strong. But how they've rounded it out to make it viable is really cool to see. And yeah, these combos are super frustrating. We've seen Barrel do this now. Keria's doing this. It's a tough lane to play, and it's going to be a plate here, potentially even off of this wave.
It's pretty early on, but yeah, this eye is also quite annoying because it'll root you. You're going to get hit from the sky, and Keria can do it from the safety of his own home. You know, he's going to be sitting back there behind the minions and never really going to be in any danger of getting hit by anything. As Guma as well, we'll have to see what kind of build he goes for, if he's maxing his Q, if he's building lethality just to be even more annoying and lane dominant. Wouldn't surprise me too much because, again, this is why they drafted this in the first place.
Just to get huge tempo advantages, which this composition is fantastic at. the K'Sante does kind of stick out like a sore thumb in terms of how this comp is going to come together in the mid game because he's going to be
K'Sante.
Yeah,
he'll figure it out.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. Is he actually doesn't really fit into that theme. Like if they had Aatrox, it would be perfect. But he's going to be K'Sante later on. He's going to be tanky. He's going to be a front lane they have to break through. But he may just be circumvented by, you know, Zach's jump, by, of course, the Nocturne, and then he's going to get rooted potentially by Execute's ultimate, which was nerfed for the support role. This is something that, you know, has been discussed so many times by Ox, who's on the space standing by. I'm sure he's got a really strong opinion about this, as he's been wanting to see this for a while. Talked about its win rate in solo queue a lot at the beginning of the LCK, and we just really didn't see it. But it's finally coming out now. Look at those CS numbers in the bottom lane, by the way. I mean, he is just not having the ability to play the game. Like, he's tied with Execute basically in farm right now.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think you should know what you're getting yourself into. Especially, you know, going for the Maokai support, it does have a ton of value, but you are also melee, and eventually maybe they can find an angle where they can just run at them, but for the time being, Kalista Hui is just too oppressive, and
speaking of
kind of have to take it.
Speaking of oppressive, I'll just look at that mid lane too. Drafting Azir into Faker's Orianna does feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Teleport timing here, a little bit awkward. Faker came back first. Closer trying to rush back to this wave. Finds himself 10 CS down, and Faker dominates these lanes. He has the best laning stats in the LCK right now. Chovy coming up as a close second, but Faker is crushing it just in general, and leaving this up and then picking the Azir into it. At least in the early game, is going to feel terrible. You know, you got a good draft in terms of how team fights are going to play out and your combos with the Zac, with the Nocturne, etc. But in terms of prio, you know, bottom side of the map, it's not there. Not going to happen.
Doesn't exist. I think that, you know, especially early on in spring, we were calling the Void Bubs kind of consolation prize. I think they basically still are, although junglers like to get them early just to, Closer a little bit away from level 6. He finally gets it. Unfortunate timing for him, as he was definitely trying to go in with the Nocturne to try to set something up, maybe force a flash, but doesn't quite get it as the minion did not die.
Yeah, the minion timing there, not what he expected. I think he thought he was going to get it on the slide, grab Faker's flash, worst case scenario, but Willer there, if Faker does not flash or misses it, then he dies. So nice attempt, but ultimately does fall flat on its face. And yeah, this just keeps happening down here. It's going to be a sad, sad laning phase for poor old Hannah.
Yeah. And yeah, looks like Guma has a high level Q as Execute flashes in. And then he walks away. As now, Ignite is coming in, and the Nocturne level 6. It looks like this will work out as First Blood given over to the Nocturne.
Baited! Got him!
And outsmarted.
Baited, outsmarted! Oh, you thought Execute wasted his flash. He's going in. And T1 is like, all right, come on, Oner, come down here. And it's just one of those moments where you're like, oh, Execute. You poor, poor support who always engages no matter what, even if it doesn't make sense. But with Willer there and with level 6, look at where he is. He's just on Krugs. And this is probably a call from Execute, because look at Willer. He's finishing the Krugs here to hit 6. And then Keria comes back in, and Willer is like, well, I'm getting 6 off the Krugs. Execute's paying attention to the map. He's paying attention to his jungler. Willer goes in. And I could just imagine the nice right after this. Yeah. I can hear it.
True. And Closer, yeah, he's fine. Although Keria is on the roam just a bit. Timing here with Guma just a little bit off, so he's going to spend some time in mid just to help out, as will Execute and land some more poke. But yeah, it's a nice kill. I mean, that's what you want on the Nocturne. It does look like Willer will be going for the Stridebreaker build once again. I've mentioned it before, I think Hexblade is very good for solo queue, but maybe for the pro scene where you're not ulting on cooldown, it does make sense to have something that makes you just a bit more sticky, to make those ults more powerful rather than just getting more of them.
Yeah, especially into a team like T1 that's so good at slippery, slipperily getting out of... slipperily slipping out. You know, call Slippy from the Star Fox.
Yeah.
Figure this one out. I don't know. I need to get bailed out. But yeah, no, they are very...
Renato was banned. Sorry, Wolf.
They're very good at... It's been a day. But look, they're very good at getting out of very sticky engages. And speaking of getting out, he does. But yeah, I think the Stridebreaker, I think it's very good in pro. I think you make good points. This lane is starting to kind of turn around a little bit after we did see that kill from Willer. And Henna still 20 CS down, but he's got that Dirk. He's stacking his steer. You got to be careful. Gummy repeatedly getting hit by these arrows. He is outranged in the 1v1. Obviously, with play, that equation changes, but he keeps getting hit by these, so they're actually turning around in a big hurry.
Yeah. And you look at the enemy team, if you're looking from FearX's standpoint, this is a fantastic lethality Varus game. As I'm going to hold that thought, Willer is here, maybe looking for a dive. It is a 3v3, yes, but I'm not sure if Oner can really even get away from this, as Willer's going to do a bunch of damage. He just ults onto Guma, nearly takes him out, but he lives, as now Oner has to flash away, but Willer might pay the price. One more ability would do it as Keria. He's desperate, and he gets it, and even a kill onto the Maokai as well, and this has gone totally awry, as now even Faker's coming in. They don't even need him. Guma got to pick up the double kill.
Oh, the execution here from FearX a little off. I mean, Faker was pushed into by Closer, so he couldn't come down initially and help out on the play. And Willer goes in, but he doesn't have the damage to instantly get the kill, so he has to flash out. And you know, Nocturne, as everyone knows, is a champion that's pretty binary. He doesn't have much utility after the initial, I went in, I pressed my buttons. If you don't get the kill, you got to get out, and you're not going to be able to do much. And then Jarvan is there for the turn by Oner. So Guma goes super low here, gets the smite. Willer decides, okay, let's go in on this play because Oner's feared. And he instantly goes in, but Flash comes through. He does not have the damage, and the turn is there. We're not done fighting, though.
Yeah, the Keria shield as well, and that replay, excellent timing. And now Oner in a little bit of trouble. Here's Closer. Very nice scoop on a 2, but the first person to go down is Execute, and now Closer's in trouble. They commit to it heavily, and T1 respond in kind immediately there. And they have already taken about 1,500 gold lead in this game.
Yeah, and it's not the first time we've seen Willer play this Nocturne pick, and then you know, he makes some plays happen proactively early, but he's trading down, and he's the one who's picking up these really important kills, and it's not giving kills over to Varus, giving kills over to Azir. And that's really frustrating here for FearX because he's trying to be proactive, he's trying to get his team ahead, but he's really the one who's picking up a majority of that gold, and T1 are winning elsewhere on the map. And now the Kalista, who is still 20 CS up, has 3 kills, and T1 definitely have the stronger composition in terms of how this is going to play out in the mid game, and they already have the lead they need. And I feel like it's accelerated. It should have been a huge lead from the laning phase alone, but these skirmishes have really backfired for FearX. So now T1's going to have that 2-dragon lead. Again, expected, but 2 dragons plus gold is a little bit tough to stomach.
Chemtech.
Oh, Ox, such.
You know, Ox, he was a little bit... He had a lot of downtime, you know, he was feeling a bit bored. Either way, guys, we do have the engage once again. This is the combo. You press your R buttons, but now Oner's going to do the same, as he will just flag and drag out. And it's not going to have the damage. The follow-up not quite there.
A little bit too far away from turret. Zeus is crushing this matchup.
Yeah, he's kind of owning him here. And Clear's going to have to flash away from this, but he will proc the passive. At least he's got that, but that's not the way this lane is supposed to look.
No, I mean, Clear should, in theory, be winning this lane, and, you know, getting all in on, it's totally worth committing the Ghost to get the Zac passive. That is super important for extended team fights with how they want to use the combo we talked about earlier, but also with Zac. You know, we saw it bottom side there. They end up getting a kill, but it's, again, a kill going over to Willer. As we're going to go back to this skirmish here, Willer is up a level. He has Execute with him. Execute's on the roam, and they think they have the numbers advantage, but Keria is also here. And it just takes so long to kill Oner, and Keria makes just so much of his value here with the burst, the speed up, also the shield coming through is just so much that they end up crushing this fight and get the turnaround. 2 kills for 1, even with the Emperor's Divide coming through. And then here, unfortunately for Oner, they're away from the turret, so his ultimate isn't going to get value in terms of pushing them into aggro.
Yeah. Also, at the end of the day, even with Cleanse, like, you're just taking so much upfront damage, and Kalista can only do so much without her flash. If only, you know, she could use Fate's Call to get herself out, that would be nice, but not the case, of course, as we are having a little bit of a scuffle here over the Bubs. Oner would like to deny some and get some XP of his own. As in comes Keria's going to land that ult now onto Henna, and that's about it.
Execute wanted to Hex Flash in to take a little damage, but he was a little out of range. I just wanted to get away, doesn't want to get hit by anything there as Henna backed off. Faker ulted in mid. We didn't talk about it, but you guys could have sussed it out. So they It's never not funny.
Guma in trouble again, but he's going to use the flash to try to get away. Is it enough? I'm not so sure. The damage is put into execute, and at least it's traded back, as now Keria considering a 1v1 of his own, but Hannah is very strong at this point in time.
Yeah, pretty critical that Guma picks up that kill, actually, so really well played there. And a lot of damage, obviously, from Keria coming through. He does have his support item, Zazak's complete, so he is doing a lot of damage. He's also got some extra movement speed from his Ether Wisp that he picked up here, and he just went straight cooldown reduction so he could just channel those spells as quickly as possible. And so he's hit a pretty big spike here. He does a lot of damage. We'll watch this once again. The flash, unfortunately, not enough here as Execute gets pulled back by the Maul. Ult comes through, and then Execute is able to get this as Guma's flashing, so he still follows through. And Aftershock buys him a ton of time here, but he still ultimately goes down as Guma's able to rend him before he dies. Otherwise, Keria gets the kill. Feels much better this way for Guma picking it up himself.
Yeah. See that it's Shirelia's first for Keria, which is pretty interesting on the way, but, you know, it's got some AP, and I think especially against support Maokai, who's just going to be building, hopefully, Trailblazer and a lot of movement speed items and sprinting at you, you would like to be able to respond a little bit, at least, with Waste Kit and with the Shirelias. I'm not sure if it'll ever match, as Guma's dancing around the turret, ignoring Clear entirely, and now he's going to get to work onto this Zac, as Clear's going to be forced to use his ultimate ability. Looks like he doesn't have the hop, and he's in a lot of trouble. No more passive, and that's a kill onto the Zac.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Callista is just so big at this point, and the turret was so low, there was not much Clear could do in that situation. Tries to use his kit, but there's no teleport for Closer, so he can't come down and help out. And that's the turret, and that's a kill.
It's an all-out to execute. Speaking of which, we are going to see the all-out here on a Closer as Zeus. Yeah, this is just insane. It's like, okay, bring me my next target. I've gotten the passive out of Zac. I've gotten the flash out of Closer on the Azir.
And Keria's got the blast cone.
Yeah, imagine if he had to blow his flash so that more action could be created in the future. But no, not going to happen.
They've got everything on lock right now, and it's a 5-7 kill score here, so it looks like, oh, maybe if you look at the kill numbers alone, feels like a close game, but a 2-dragon lead, this turret going down, T1 sitting at like a 3K gold lead right now, and Clear doesn't have his passive from the earlier play. There's no save in this. If he had his passive and the turret was more healthy, he'd probably still be doomed, but he doesn't have either of those things, and so he does go down an additional time. And as you mentioned, Closer has to blow his flash. He is pushed out of top lane by Zeus right afterwards. Fearx do have a group up on this, but they don't really have control. Just because you're there doesn't mean you really have control, as Faker is going to back without teleport. So now they do have some modicum of control here over this objective. But again, it's Chemtech Soul. A solo Chemtech Dragon isn't going to feel amazing. It's going to feel decent for this comp, but I think T1 are happy to, if they had to, give it up. And they've actually given enough time for Faker to walk back now. He has ult, so we'll see if this ends up being a real fight. He's going to go for the minions under the turret instead, as it feels like FearX are just really indecisive about what play they want to make here. They're going to push top. Clear does have TP.
Yeah. See that Henna's being pushed in right now, actually, in the mid lane, so the mid prio not quite there. Now Oner looking for the combo. Faker is not here, though, but still they're going to go for a TP coming in from Faker right now, as not exactly the cleanest fight, but T1 still going to capitalize. They will take out Execute, and oh, Closer! One auto away, and that'll do it. Oner going to steal it away from Keria.
Faker's got to be so mad, man. There's just no way he's going to keep up with Chovy like this. If Keria keeps playing like this, it's just not going to happen. He's 0-0-4. Oh, it's starting off the week behind Chovy. You never want to see it.
Hey, at least he got the one, you know?
Yeah.
There's only one behind.
He did get the POG in game one for those who missed it. So just one behind now. But yeah, this is a really cool combo, and I think so much damage is done by Keria with this ult, with the Jarvan Cataclysm here. Look at Execute, he's already at half health, and then Closer also gets flag dragged into, survives, but he's now out of the fight, and they're just chased away. Execute's forced to flash, Faker chases here, and Keria just layers that damage on, snipes him from so far away. Doesn't matter, because he's dead anyways by Oner.
Yeah.
But everything in that fight was so well coordinated by T1, and suddenly, you know, 4,500 gold lead here for T1. And, I mean, Soul Point is definitely stronger with a lot of different dragons, but you're still happy to see it if you're a T1 fan. And I just don't know if Clear is going to be impactful at all this game. He's just super far behind. And we need this combo to work out with Maokai, Zac, and the Nocturne onto backline targets. But who is the backline target? Is it going to be Faker, who has arm guard? Who are you actually going to kill? Who are you going to collapse on? Are you going to collapse on a Guma, who is a ton of support, is so big that he'll probably just kill you instantly anyways? I just feel like the comp is kind of falling apart now.
It's kind of one of those interesting situations where if the Kalista wasn't that fed, you know, maybe if you just wombo combo into Guma, it could be nice. But as you mentioned, if you do not kill him immediately, you're probably just dead. So they're going to put themselves very close to the Kalista, which she will very much enjoy. We do have the Unending Despair tech here from Clear, which has been getting more and more popular in the top lane with champions such as Zac and Volibear, especially. A solo queue classic, that one. But yeah, gonna pull it out here as the first item.
I didn't realize you were talking about the item. I thought you were just talking about his entire lane.
Oh, well, yeah, that too. But also the item, just conveniently, he did purchase that.
Because I think Unending Despair describes what the game before this has looked like for him and what it will likely look like afterwards. He's just, unfortunately, so far behind. I mean, I like the item pick here, but Closer's going to have to ult the jungler.
Oner didn't even hit the flag track. And now he's just going to press his ult. Yeah, Closer is in a lot of trouble, although he does have a Nocturne and a Maokai. Maybe a bit of a bait, but they just can't kill the Jarvan right now. He's just going to flag drag back into that one. As meanwhile, Willer is...
Evacuate! Doesn't hurt allied turrets, as it turns out, so he's okay.
It takes a lot less damage when you knock it into a wall on this patch. As Clear's is going to elect to jump away. Definitely the answer when you're fighting into Cassante, I would say.
Unending
He's going to ult
Despair
as well. And yeah, you know, the Unending Despair getting a lot of value.
You ever just do Baron, you know, after a play like that when fight's happening mid, you only have 4 people here. T1 does at 20 minutes, and it's gone.
They have Kalista. Nocturne doesn't have Alter Flash. They just do it. I mean, they probably didn't even see it until it was too late anyway. T1 very far ahead now at 42,000 gold, 21 minutes in.
Clear teleported to a Baron that was gone as well, and the Herald is at least going to get some value up here topside. And now he's just going to back. Like, he can't even get this bounty gold against Faker. His ult is coming back online. What a disaster that play was around the turret, though, for FearX. Closer just staying, hoping that Willer could turn that around, but he definitely could not into a fed Jarvan, who was sitting on Cleaver. Now he has Warden's Mail.
Wait, no, Clear! He canceled the jump because he was too far away because Faker went so far down the lane. Again, I think he probably will be able to kill Faker, just because the lane is so long. But he's really taking a sweet time with this one.
I mean, Zeus has TP.
And he's not going to even pull him back. Okay, well, that was not the way. All right. Well,
I mean, he might have been called by his teammates, like, look, you know, Zeus might TP on you. Don't hard commit. Don't lose your passive. It's super valuable for this next fight, the soul fight. But, I mean, dealing with Baron here is nigh impossible.
Faker's just going to TP into that one. And Sonya's as well. Kind of
worth.
I guess he denied some damage. I don't even see any.
He probably fat fingered. I guess. I don't know.
It's fine.
He has done that on occasion. He's not perfect, okay, Valdez. He makes mistakes.
And now we do have a little bit of the combo coming in. The Maokai ultimate layered on top. This is what you want as Keria just not here. They finally kill Guma, but they have gone pretty far, and the wallets are really heavy right now for the side of T1. You dealt with one threat, but you didn't deal with Cassante, and that's going to force everybody to just flash away.
Yeah, a lot of threat here. If the game state was even and the wallets were lighter for T1, feels like a really nice play, and you could have, you know, maybe seen this composition realize its potential in that moment. But alas, it is not to be. As Faker also with no arm guard could have been a good target here. Look at Guma, though, do so much damage before he actually goes down. This is exactly what we were talking about. Because he's so big, he basically killed, you know, 1.5 people's health bars in killing the support and actually then pushing Willer down to 1/3 health while dying, while the rest of the team comes in and then Zeus shows up and it's donezo.
Keria, I think he's in a bit of trouble here. He's on the run. He's got Oner to help out, and Maokai just doesn't do enough damage, so nobody else can get in range. And now Zeus, oh god, that's a scary Cassante ghosting at him. At least Henna will be able to pick up the kill. Nicely done, flashing in for that one. Can he get away from the rest of the team? It does look like yes, as Clear will do a good job of zoning. Zeus, though, he's running under the turret right now. And he'll just back off after that, but yeah, nice little trade. Execute does go down for the 7th time, though, as well.
Yeah, Closer's going to try to grab some bounty gold topside. This inhibitor is just not defendable. TPing in, actually, as I say it, though. Let's see what they can get with this. I don't know about this.
Again, this is kind of the broken up version of the combo. Faker just going to flash the wall. Guma still running away. This is what we were talking about. You can't get on top of him, and he's just jumping away from the jumper himself. It's the Zac can't get on top of the Kalista, and Guma will just laugh in their face and take them all down. Faker's gonna steal the kill, because why not? He needs some POG points. Don't think he's gonna get them in this game, though, as Execute is just dead as well. Zeus, he's trying to bargain for his own POG points.
Zeus ready to go home. He's done with this series. I think he's gonna need a little bit more minions before that can happen, but they are looking to end this, you know, at 25 minutes, and I think they will. The tragedy of that play from Closer, too, is they didn't even get the bounty gold top. He TP'd in late. You can't kill that Kalista, and I wanted to give it to Keria, but I might have to give it to Guma here.
Yeah.
I think I have to.
That's what I would do.
Oh, what a dominant performance here from T1. Circumstances